Well, that was bloody terrific. That was frustrating. And, it pissed me off at times. All kinds of typical St Kilda game. All kinds of emotions there kind of came to the forefront. I don't even know where to start, really. Firstly, great to end Ross Lyon's finals chances with Fremantle. That's a great start, I think. I thought we came out of the blocks. I thought the first 15-20 minutes we were dominant, but again, probably didn't get enough scoreboard pressure. And Fremantle came into it, and Ross Lyon did what Ross Lyon does with his teams, is kind of, heavy congestion around the ball, a lot of players around the ball, pretty much team Fife, and making, and him being the guy that dominates. We couldn't stop him. Fife was their best by a mile, I thought. I thought Brad Hill was okay, but I thought for the most part we were the ones trying to do something with the game, and the longer the game went on, the longer it kind of slowed down. It played into Fremantle's hands, and I thought it was going to be that sort of frustrating game where Fremantle pretty much just grind out an ugly win, and how we used to do it under Ross Lyon, how Fremantle have done it under Ross Lyon for the most part of his time there, but we kind of just stuck fat, really worked hard. We had Caulfield off injured. We had Marshall, who went off with a sore knee. I think it was I'm not too sure what it was. I think it was Akers that had a thigh injury, and that's why he played deep, because he couldn't run around a lot. So we were a few plays down on the bench. Fremantle had their tails up, getting that goal in the last quarter from Matera. But we just kept fighting, we kept fighting. Jack Stephen returning, kicking 3, having 20 plus possessions, having 7 or 8 marks. I thought it was Ben Long's best game for a long time. Really impressed by the way he went, with a lot of criticism this season, but his lead-up plays, second to none, and unlucky to get kicked that snap in the last quarter, and they pay it a touched. Stuv kicking 3, Hanbury kicking 2 and having 20 plus possessions. Dunstan really was the engine room and tried really hard all day. I thought, the youngsters in Hunter Clark, Ben Pattons, did their best. Billings, critical in that last quarter with a few big marks and repeat entries. And Bruce, not his best game by a long shot, but geez, he kicked a clutch goal, and heart in mouth sort of stuff there, Firstly, I got to give credit to Nick Hind. Under immense pressure, the game's on the line with a minute and a half to go, and he could have easily have gone for the winning goal there from 50, but instead he laces out to Bruce on a perfectly timed lead, takes the mark and goes back with, a good 40 seconds to go and nails the goal. And it was just euphoria around the stadium. The amount of shit that umpiring was copping, I can't believe I saw an umpire. I don't want to gloss on the umpiring, because it's more about the win and how proud of the boys I am. And Ratton after the game, speaking to the fans and talking like he knows he's got the coaching gig, and he's put 3 wins and 1 pretty honourable loss there out of the 4 games he's had. So credit to him. But the umpiring, that passage of play where they paid a free kick to them, high tackle, but then the other umpire overturned it, but then the other umpire overturned it again and gave it back to Fremantle, is an absolute... It's just a joke. The umpiring almost cost us the game there. Almost cost us the game, but we just kept fighting. We kept working hard. At times it was ugly, and I think a lot of that had to do with the way Fremantle set up. I don't think it was us playing poor, although, we made some poor decisions at times, but... For the most part, I thought that we tried to do something with the game. We tried to take the game on, sometimes recklessly. But in the end, I think this game would be a perfect example of, how we were 6 weeks ago, playing more conservative. We would not have won that game. Fremantle would have taken the energy out of it and would have cruised along with a win. But we kept gunning, we kept moving, we kept trying, and worked our way into it. And I'm really proud of the guys. They deserve this. Great to see Stephen. You know, everyone's celebrating Stephen. We don't know what's going to happen with him, but so great to see him having a good game, and just shows what a half good Stephen in the forward pocket can do. Kick 3 goals, really win you the game, and still have 21 possessions and 6 or 7 marks. A couple of important tackles. Loney was great. Good pressure in the forward half. Marshall, although starting slow, finished with 20 possessions. Like, he was off for pretty much the whole first quarter and was injured for the most part of the game, and he still finishes with 20 possessions, nearly 20 hit-outs, 6 of his own clearances, more than most players on the ground. Like, he's an absolute unit. And Josh Battle in defence. Carlisle was slow and made some mistakes, but when the game mattered in that last quarter, when the Fremantle Dockers just kept peppering the forward 50, he took some critical marks, and such a tough grind from the boys, but it's a different type of win that we're not used to. We're not going to kick 100 points every week, especially against a Ross Lyon coach team away from home. But Freo have beaten Geelong, they've beaten Collingwood, they've beaten some very good teams in Melbourne at home. But, we got them this time. We should have gotten them in at Optus Oval earlier in the season, but we got them this time. And we get, Carlton next week at the G, Saturday Arvo. It's going to be a good game, I hope. 2 teams that have been, in good form recently. I thought our form last week was good, but us under Brett Radden at Marvel, I think, is going to be a different proposition next season. And we've already had 3 games at Marvel this season for Rats, and we've won all 3. So that's a good sign. So next week at the G against Carlton won't be easy, and then we finish the season in Sydney. So I'll definitely be going to that. I'm in a bit of a hurry, guys, so sorry again for not answering any sort of comments, but keep them coming. I'm going to duck home now, and I'll respond when I can. My man of the match, I honestly couldn't pick one. I'm going to give it to Hanbury. Was our most statistically our highest rated player, but I think Jack Stephen was close to our most important, because he kicked some critical goals. He kicked that critical goal in the last quarter to get us within 4 points, and then he took that awesome mark, I think it was in the third quarter, to kick a goal, and I think put us in front again in the third quarter, or get us thereabouts. So for me, I think it was, considering he's been out for the entire season and he's still had that sort of influence on an important game, it shows how important he is to us and why I'd love to keep him for another season, but it remains to be seen. Comment who you thought your best player was, your questions, anything, just the fact that you're happy that we won, because I'm fucking stoked. And I'll respond later today. Hopefully get some good chants to post as well, because I could hear the guys from R29 chanting. And I think they had a few new ones for Steven and for Brucey as well. So awesome win, guys. We grinded it, but we fucking did it. We're 3-1 under Rats. And now I think we go up a couple of spots on the ladder. Technically, I think we're still with the chance of finals, but, let's just enjoy it while we can. We won by 3 points, I think. It was 72-69. Comment, like this. It'll be on Spotify. It'll be on all those platforms very shortly. And just enjoy the win, guys. Another win under Rats. Good Sunday. Good end to the weekend. Go you bloody Saints.